In Isaiah 58 it says, "Cry loud, spare not. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins. Yet they seek me daily, and delight to know my ways, as a nation that did righteousness, and forsook not the ordinance of their God. They ask of me the ordinances of justice. They take delight in approaching to God. Wherefore have we fasted, say they, and thou seest not? Wherefore have we afflicted our soul, and thou takest no knowledge? Behold, in the day of your fast ye find pleasure, and exact all your labors." Fasting is, in other terms, called afflicting your soul. David said, "I afflicted my soul with fasting." Afflicting your soul is your mind or your emotions, because when you don't eat, your body and your mind wants to eat. And so, afflicting your soul just simply means that you are doing something that your mind and your body don't want to do. Okay. So here, this was as a nation that came to Israel, and they basically told God that we fasted and you haven't even seen it. That we've afflicted our souls and you're not even paying any attention to us, basically. And God is saying, in your fast, you found your own pleasure. You did exactly what you wanted to do. And so, when we look at this, we understand in fasting, you're fasting to do the will of God. And what God calls a fast. Otherwise, you're just abstaining from eating food. Praise the Lord.
So, Elder, should we possibly pray like several days or a week before and ask the Lord to direct us as far as what type of fast we should be on or we should commence? I'm talking about like a personal one. You know, if I want to, because I know sometimes we'll say, well, I'm going to fast next week, but then we don't seek God first. But should we seek God first before we start a fast?
Yeah, you definitely, I know there's, you know, like regular church fast and things like that. But if you're going to do any kind of extended fast, I would definitely seek God. And there's certain times that you should fast. Like if I know people who have, I guess what they term as a deliverance ministry. When you are in deliverance, or when you are casting out of a person, you should not be fasting during that time, because that makes your body weak. And now, if you are, but it's good to fast before you do it. But a day or two before, you should start eating again, because you don't want to be physically worn out. But in anything, if our fast is unto God, then really we should be praying to God that, oh, we're fasting. I obviously, I don't like it. I've seen people do it where you just fast just kind of because. I mean, if you don't have a reason, then why are you doing something? Now, you can say, well, I'm fasting to hear God better or something like that. But at least you have a reason. But like if the church calls a fast and they don't give a reason, then how is everybody on accord about what the fast is about? And we're coming. So you should always have a reason why you're fasting. Amen. Unless you just, you know, want to lose some weight, and that's what you're doing.
That's what I was going to ask you. Is a fast a weight loss fast or fast, or is that just a diet?
The thing about a weight loss fast, if you want to call it that way, if you don't eat, you're going to lose weight. Okay? It's basically calories in, calories out. Your body burns a certain amount of calories every day, and if you don't take any calories and you're still doing things, then your body's burning calories, you're going to lose weight. However, what I have learned is that something spiritual, then you are training your mind to say, there is something more than what I can physically see, taste, hear, smell, and feel. Okay? So, in that, we can go back to the scriptures where it says, behold, ye fast for strife and debate, and to smite with the fist of wickedness. Ye shall not fast as you do this day, to make your voice to be heard on high. So here's another thing that we talked about what you fast for. You're fasting, he's saying they came and they were fasting for strife. They were fasting to debate. They were fasting, like Gandhi. Gandhi would fast because he said they would treat him wrong. Now, if that worked, how that worked, I don't know. But if I'm sitting here eating and somebody's saying, I'm not going to eat until you treat me better, I don't know how that's going to move me, but it does move other people. But he was the one that wasn't eating. It wasn't like he said, I'm going to make sure you don't eat until you treat me better. He said, I'm not going to eat until you treat me better. But I think that is not what the Bible says fasting is for. Amen. It says it's not for debate, and that's basically debate. He's saying, we're treating you unfairly, he's saying, we're treating you whatever we want to. And he's saying, well, I'm not going to eat until you treat me right. I think the person eating will last a little longer than the person not eating. Maybe that's why Gandhi was so skinny. But that is not the spiritual reason. The spiritual reason is to make your voice to be heard on high. So, if you want your prayers to be accelerated,